All right, folks, welcome to Formicast Live. Welcome, Formicast fans, to another episode of Formicast Podcast, your source for everything ant keeping. This is your host, Durka, and with me is my co-host.
Tally ho! I am the colonialist, your ant-keeping wingman from across the pond, for Queen and colonies.
And today we have a special guest. Drum roll, folks. Say hello.
Go Endurians.
He is here, guys. He came out of wherever hole he was in, and he's joined us for an interview. Super exciting to have you, Ender Ants. Welcome to the Formicast fam.
Welcome,
Thank you
man.
for letting me be here.
So happy to have you on. All right, folks. Let's see who is in chat. We got a couple. We got a good group of people in here right now. We got David Zitik. We got Biologic. We have Ants on the Rock. Thomas Dodge Hill. Let's see who else we got. And I'm sure everybody else is coming as well. So yeah, we got a good group of people in the chat, and more probably coming here soon. So all right, let's get to this. So we do have some shout outs. So over this past week, I've been doing a lot of work on the show itself, mainly on the website and the Patreon, which we'll go over that here in a bit. We don't have any new reviews as of late. So, hold up one second. Yep, okay, it's working. I want to check if my mic was working on the Streamlabs and make sure it's recording, not like last time where I had to fix that. But yeah, we have new Patreon supporters. I wanted to thank Cat Fart for giving $10 to joining the Patreon. So he's going to be donating $10 every month to support the show. So if you're definitely interested in supporting the show that way, let me know. I'll get more into that in a bit here. But that's pretty much it for shout outs. Let's double check if there's anybody else in chat. Nova Ants is here too. Awesome. Welcome, bud. Let's see. All right, so week updates, since it's been about 2 weeks since we've given any updates. So I sold 2 Micromadagascar colonies to a fellow Michigander and his nephew, which hopefully, if they're listening, they were able to move them from the old test tube to the new test tube that I gave them for each colony. They were being a little stubborn with me, sadly. Like, they wouldn't move over from the one colony to the other. I tried shining light on them, and, they still wouldn't. They were, like, red-tinted test tubes. I don't know if, it was something I was doing wrong. But, I made sure they had 2 new test tubes so they could, they were a bit of a pain. They were a bit of a pain in the butt, but I made sure that they had everything they needed. They didn't start with anything that they're just starting getting into the hobby, and they didn't really have much, so I gave them like a nice little kit of stuff, which was pretty cool. I'm going to Jackson, Michigan during the 4th of July weekend to make a trade with one of my listeners, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for that, to actually meet one of my listeners in person. Started a Patreon also, by the way, so here I'm going to go ahead and throw that up here so you guys can see it. So we have, actually let me open that up. So we have a Patreon set up now for Formicast Podcast, if anybody is watching or listening is interested. So basically, there's different ways you can support the channel, either by donating on PayPal or by going on to the Patreon. And so basically, there's different tiers. So, there's the Nunetic tier, which is only $5 a month. Good evening, Antantics. Welcome. So there's also it's $5 a month where you can support. You get shout out onto the show, and you get a Discord role for being a Patreon member. Worker class is what Cat Fart did. It is basically a special role on the Discord. If you have a Discord, Patreon shout out, which I did earlier here. You also get behind the scenes content. So a lot of stuff that's between JB and I. A lot of that stuff will be behind the scenes stuff. We'll be able to share with the worker class Patreon members. And then website honors, we'll go into that here in a bit. VIP patrons, for example, there's only 20 of them. It's very limited. Monthly AMAs, special in the Discord, Patreon partner Discord, Patreon shoutouts, behind the scenes, and website honors. There's also the drones, which I feel like I might need to cut this down from 40, but it's basically only 40 spots right now. So the drone is actually, you get some more stuff to it. And with the cool thing about the drone thing, for $40 a month every quarter, you get something exclusive from Patreon and Formicast. So first 3 months you get a Formicast sticker. After that you get a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, and a hoodie. So that's pretty cool. And then the $100 a month one, a special Discord, monthly AMAs, Patreon partner Discord, Patreon shout out, behind the scenes, website honors, behind the scenes content, early access stuff, exclusive voting power. You have the ability to kind of steer the direction of the show, which is pretty cool. You get live chat, live Q&As, and you actually get to talk to me on the phone, which would be pretty cool. That's gonna be pretty sweet. So we got that set up. If you're interested, I'll definitely post that into the show notes so you guys can take a look at that. So yeah, you get some perks for joining the team that way. So the website is live. So here's a first look of what formicastpod.com looks like, so you guys can see it. Make sure you guys, okay, cool. So basically here's the homepage, and on the homepage you got the link to Spotify. Click on that, it'll take you to Spotify. You can leave a review. Click on that, it'll take you to the iTunes page. You can just click on that, it takes you right to it. Audio waves, all the links. So this takes you to anchor.fm, so you can see where the podcast is located at. And then the Discord, if you just click on that, it'll take you right to the Discord. So you can join our Discord by going to the website. Let's see. So we have the homepage. It basically, talks about the podcast, like how we got, basically what, Formicast stands for. We have our partners. These are not paid partners. These are just, different companies all across the world that are partnering with Formicast to bring content and to partner with us. We got our hosts, so myself and the Colonialist, or JB. Just a quick overview of each of us. And then if you want to join our newsletter, just drop your email and we'll get that. And each week you'll get a little cool stuff in here. So that's pretty cool. So we got that. And then we got the About channel, which basically talks about who I am. This is going to change after a little bit because I'm getting some professional photos done with Formicast merch. It's going to be pretty cool. So we'll have this updated here soon. I basically just talks about me, talks about what I like to do outside of ant keeping and podcasting. So that's what that is in the past podcasts that I've done. So that's pretty cool. Episodes, show notes. So the show notes each week, I will publish them here so you guys can read them. And then you can donate either through Patreon, which takes me to the link, or you can do it through PayPal. Then if you want to volunteer, Formicast is looking for team members. So if you want to get involved that way, it's cool. If you want to be a partner, that's for companies, either paid sponsor or someone that, like the ones I listed before. If you guys want to get involved that way, just email the show at formicastpodcast@gmail.com. And then one of my favorite verses from the Bible: take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones, learn from them your ways and become wise. King Solomon, Proverbs 6:6-8. So that's that part. We got podcast supporters. So here is the honor page. So for the Patreon tiers, so Catfart will be listed here as long as he's donating. So that's pretty cool. So space is limited. If you want to sign up and put your name up here on here, the lowest amount is $10 for working class. So that's what that looks like. And then I think I did honors. Yep, honors. So this is the Hive. So it's the Hive Podcast Network is what we're a part of. And soon the Hive is doing some other cool stuff. So we're going to be changing up the logo and the website for the Hive. So that's going to update testimonial. So testimonies from, Portmore Arts left a testimony or left a review. So I threw it up on there for them. Some other stuff, Ant Shack, Canada Ant Colony, all three of them left pretty cool reviews. If you want to leave a review this way, you can as well, and we'll throw it up there underneath theirs. And then the We Don't Approve, for those who do not know what we do not approve movement is. This is basically my explanation of it. And then some videos. And so anybody else that is interested in checking out videos on the topic, that's where it's at. So All right, so that's the website. It's pretty cool. If you guys like it, we're gonna be doing some more stuff to it soon. It took a pretty good amount of time to work on it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. If you guys like it, and then my commander gaster colony finally moved into their nest on that 1 week that they were being stubborn and they weren't moving. What I did was I was able to get the queen down there and get a couple of her workers, and when I came back from my weekend trip, they were back. They were in the bottom of their nest, so that's pretty cool. So that's all that I have for my weekly updates. JB, what about you?
Well, I have been a busy boy. No, I'm joking.
Uh,
I've actually created a government petition to ban the retail of gel ant farms in the UK. It's actually just gone through to the first stage, so it's under the first stage review, and the next step will be to open up to get 10,000 signatures. If we can get 10,000 signatures, the petition will be considered by the government, and if we can get 100,000 signatures, it will be debated in the House of Commons. So that's
Oh,
quite exciting. So
that's really cool.
that's
I'm hoping that can go through. So that should fall under the Animal Welfare Act 2006, which I'm hoping they can add on the legislation of that, which actually relates to how you care for animals and pets.
Mhm.
So yeah, I hope it can fall in under that. And I've just released the Formica Data Project, which is my latest sort of out there research project, which is an absolute incredible challenge to carry out, but hopefully it will go there. And it's basically to try and create a national database of Formica populations in the UK, as they've been in a decline. One species, Formica pratensis, went extinct on mainland UK in 1988, but still remains in the Channel Islands. And there's several other species of Formica which are endangered or near threatened. So there's no current national database. So the conservationists who are making the decisions, who are trying to push for legislations, don't actually have the information they need to necessarily make the correct decisions. So if we can get this project off the ground and get the ball rolling and get enough people involved and actually start collecting the data, it can be later verified, because the way that the survey is set up, which I'm using an app called EpiCollect 5, which was created by the Oxfordshire University, and it was hosted by the Imperial College of London. So it's an app that's been designed for field research, and the survey that I've created is there to collect as much data as possible, so that an amateur or a professional could collect the same data and record exactly where the nests are, so that if need be, later on someone could go there and verify the exact species that's there, but at least they would know where the nesting sites are. So yeah, that's where I've been with everything this week. I've been quite focused on getting that stuff out the way.
Yeah, I also saw that you just launched another video.
Yeah, that's the Formica data project that I launched. Obviously, guys, check that out after the podcast, because you don't want to miss the action that's happening here.
Yep, we'll definitely take a look at that and probably throw it up on the show notes too. Got a buddy of mine in chat is asking why ban giant farms. Because they're bad. Derek Scott, they're really bad for the ants. They're not good for them nutritiously. There's like no way. Plus, they die so quickly in them, and it's just bad overall. I'm sure anybody else can give a better example than that. But yeah, they're overall just bad.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty poor.
If you can
It's
just get
also
like,
to do with the way that ants breathe, because they don't actually have like lungs and breathe in through their mouth like we do. They have little holes on their body that directly take oxygen into their bloodstream. So when they're inside such a humid environment, and when it starts to break down into water, basically they instantly drown.
Right. Yeah. So Derek, they're death traps essentially. I have the one that I bought from Amazon to do a review on, and basically what it is there's no way for you to put food in there for them. I mean, there is, but technically the gel, quote unquote, would be the food, but has very little amount of nutrition value in that gel. It like there's no area for you to put any type of water for them or anything like that. And then there's like a little tiny hole on the top that's plugged up, and you're supposed to like it says in the book, like once a week open that so they get air. Like you wouldn't do that to any other pet. Like for any other pet that you would own, you wouldn't treat them as shitty as you would with the ants by using these gel ant farms. It's just bad. So that's kind
Yeah,
of what.
they also encourage the destruction of wild colonies because most of them, the instructions they give are
Yeah.
to go out and take workers from a wild colony, which is
Yeah.
an awfully bad, outdated practice. We are long gone past that kind of thinking now.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. But yeah, we have one of our questions here for Ender that kind of goes into all this stuff. But for your weekly updates, goes into the questions.
Yeah.
So while we're going to the questions that were submitted, I'll allow people in the chat to actually to go ahead and ask your questions while we're going over these, and then I'll be keeping track of them through that. All right, let's go with the first question is why is your logo that, and why is that your name?
All right. Okay, so like my old logo was like it was just words pretty much. So it wasn't really recognizable in my opinion. So I just like went to Photoshop or then just made up a logo. And my old name was or no, yeah, my old username for my YouTube channel was like Slendy Endy, which was for my YouTube account.
Yeah.
And the channel was originally supposed to be about Minecraft videos.
Mm.
So it was like an Enderman, so like Slendy Endy, and then I decided to change that when I got into ant keeping, but also like pay homage to it. Like so I took the Endy and I just changed it to Ender, and then I just added the ants, and that's
Interesting.
how I got my name pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that question
Got a
was.
really good ring to it, man.
Yeah, it sure does. That question is from Pro Ant Keeper. He's got a couple other questions. Why have you not uploaded in a while? I'm sure you're gonna
Oh
get this
man,
question multiple
the
times.
yeah the big question.
The big question.
It's been brewing for like 5 months,
Mm.
but like
Oh,
pretty much, um, so I'm sure we all know like quarantine happened, so there
Mm.
was that. And
Yeah.
I had to take school online, and school online was so much. It was like so much work compared to like real life school. So I was busy with that, and also I wasn't really allowed to go outside. So that's what I'm doing this summer because I already got vaccinated, and I'm able to go out more. And yeah, I've just been busy with life pretty much because I've just been so cooped up inside my house. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just life.
Yeah. Let's see. What are some things you're planning on bringing to your channel?
Um, more videos, of course.
Yeah.
More videos. I want to do more tutorials because I have like this one video that was recorded way back in January that I never fully finished, and that
Mm.
one's a tutorial. I feel like
Interesting.
there has to be more tutorials too, like on other stuff.
Yep. I
Um,
I totally agree
like
with that.
especially like how to catch queen ants.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like 20 that I can name or that I know of that are actually like good tutorials that are recent. And
Yeah.
when I mean recent, I mean like within the past like 3 years or something, 3 to 5 years. I don't even know. But yeah, just more videos, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
More videos, more tutorials. Of course, the more um and keeping colony updates, because I've pretty much just been gone off the entire face of social media the past 5 months. Like even my Instagram, I just got off that too.
Yeah, I've
But
kind of
yeah, just
noticed you've been kind
just
of.
more activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be the gateway to bring you back in.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This is the
yeah, I
start,
was
I
gonna
guess.
say
Yep.
you need to come back, man.
Yep. Sure do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should somebody keep their founding colony in test tubes or use the dirt thing you like to do?
Test tubes, of course. Always go with test tubes. You can never go wrong with those.
Right.
But the only reason why I do natural setups is because some ants do better, like forming their own founding chamber, than inside like a test tube.
Mhm.
Like like my cone ants, like door myrmics,
Mhm.
they constantly like slip on the glass, or like harvester ants too. I've heard that they don't do
Mhm.
well in test tubes. So I just use like a sand setup so they can dig their own founding chamber.
Mhm.
But yeah, of course, always test out the test tubes because they're
Yeah. I
yeah
have
the like
my I have my harvester ants inside of a Tar Heel ants mini hearth, and then I'm connected to an outrill.
hmm
So
I really need to get more of his nests.
yeah,
yeah.
I have an extra one just sitting around now because I didn't put anything else in it. Yeah. Yes, Scorching the Goat. The questions that I'm being read out um, are ones that were asked during the week on social media. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat, and I'll get to them when we're done with the rest of them. Let's see. So we got a question from Ants UK, and that is, what is your favorite part of ant keeping?
Um, hmm, let me think. I was gonna say catching queen ants, but then also, of course, it's like raising them
Mm-hmm.
from the very like queen ants into a colony.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, it's like it's just super. Um, I don't know the word. Satisfying? No. It's just like it feels good once you finally have a large colony when you raise it from a single queen.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
just,
it
I
sure
would
is
say like,
achievable.
yeah, I would say like from the very beginning, right when they get their first workers, and then right when they, no, no, right when they have their first eggs, and then right when they get their first nanitics.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. I like, for me, it'd probably be catching them, catching the queen ants when it's,
Yep,
knuckle
catching them is
flies.
also fun.
That's so much fun.
It's also cool to see like people's reactions
Yeah,
that are
like,
just walking by.
yeah, they're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just looking for queen ants." "You looking for what?"
Yeah.
um, Ants Junior. I'll get to your question here in a bit. Let's see here. Favorite species or genus or both?
Um, oh, for genus, cephalotes, turtle ants. I
Hmm.
can't really, I don't think I have a favorite species. There's too many, and too many ants that
There
I don't
is.
really know of yet.
Yeah.
But also like, I like pseudomyrmex, twig ants.
No.
Um, uh, Neopanera, Panera, uh, how could I forget? Sipho I think those are fungus growing ones, or leaf cutters.
Hmm.
One of those two. But Sipho I like those. Well, mainly turtle ants. 'Cause I mean, that was what my character is based off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turtle ants are pretty cool.
Cephalotes. Yeah, favorite genus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
they are really cool.
for sure. One of the questions that was asked was, when are you going to do a face reveal?
Oh, question that I get sometimes, or most of the time, in my comments. I thought about this like a lot before, or before. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was thinking about doing it when I reached a milestone, like a huge milestone. Then I was also thinking I should just wait um until I'm more established somewhere else, I guess you can put it.
Mm.
Because I don't really want to continue just making ant YouTube videos.
Mm.
Like that's also part of the reason why I stopped uploading. Because I've been trying to work on some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Just because I can't keep on relying on ants for, I guess you can say, building up an audience. I mean, you can, but I just, I don't know. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna show a face reveal. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Cool. Yeah, that's a
Can
good
you
way to
tip
put
us off on the
it.
can you, can you tip us off on the other content that you've been making?
Ooh, that will have to wait. That will have to wait for sure. I would
Cool.
say within. I
Yeah,
don't want to put a date on it either. Never mind. I was
you're
thinking about it.
you're not the
Well, I'll definitely press that bell icon and be hoping that I'll hear that notification. I'm pretty sure I've got it clicked already. So
yeah. I'm sure you're not the only content creator that said that, because Ants Manitoba has also said something like that before, where he's like, yeah, I kind of want to do stuff other than ant content stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of see how
Oh, what did he say
he
that he
didn't
was gonna do?
he didn't say what it was. He's
Oh,
kind
he
of
did it?
no. He hasn't
Oh, okay.
he hasn't revealed what it is, but yeah, Ants
That's
Manitoba's a
interesting.
good dude. But let's see. What is your favorite Tar Heel Ants product?
Easily the mini hearth.
Yeah, I freaking love
I
that.
was gonna get the or I wanted to get the mini hearth extra large,
Yeah,
but I just didn't have like a large enough colony, so it would have just been sitting on my shelf the entire time.
right.
I remember I would check like Tar Heel Ants website like weekly
Yep.
just to see what kind of new products are there, because they're really nice looking. Like it's just
Yep.
cool to look at.
I do the same when it comes to pouring more art stuff. I go onto their website like every week just to see what updates
Uh-huh.
they got. Yeah. That's where I get most of my stuff is between Tar Heel Ants and pouring more art. Pouring more art though, it's it's based in Canada, so we got to pay shipping a little bit more
Oh,
than we
okay.
would have to here. But yeah, those two would probably be my favorite two stores in the area. Yes, Carpenter Ants are great. Derek Scott. Let's see. Um, Minigun wants to know when your next video is coming out.
I remember I was asked this before, and
Uh-huh.
I just like said within like summer, during the summer at least. But I would say like I don't want to put a date on it because I might forget about it again. Just
Right,
not stay not stay true to my word.
right.
But I really want to have a video uploaded because I have like a couple just sitting on my laptop.
Yeah,
Like I could just upload one if I wanted to, but I want it to be good because it's just been a long wait
yeah,
since my last video, and I feel like it has to be better than usual.
for sure. Um, so Biologic wants to know how do you find queen ants?
Um, oh, going to a park. That's where I find like I think that's where I found almost all of my queen ants. Just going to a park, walking on the sidewalk, or using my black light in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I found a lot of queen ants with my black light that I didn't think were near me. Because I would always go to the park before.
Yeah,
Yeah, go to the park like at night too, if you can.
yeah,
Because that's bugs are out all around at night. And they're attracted to the lights. And you can just find them.
yeah. I bought a black light because of your video. That's your
Mm.
fault.
How's it working for you?
I haven't had a chance to take it out yet, but here hopefully
Ah,
soon in the
dang.
next couple weeks. I've been super busy with work, but
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I plan on using it out here in the backyard because most of my queens I've caught literally right here, like next to the house, because
Oh,
there's a bunch of neonigers during Labor Day that were just like all over the place, and I found a bunch of chromatogaster on the back porch, and so that's pretty cool. But
wow.
yeah,
Oh,
Well, here's a
be prepared.
random one for you. I was this was the other week. I was sorting out the polyacus in the hallway, and they're having a nuptial flight at the moment. And I turned around and stepped into the kitchen, and I looked up on the wall, and I was convinced it was a polyacus drone had managed to get out and was like crawling around on the kitchen wall. So I climbed up on the side and grabbed it, and it turned out to be a Lasius umbratus queen. So as far as I'm concerned, she chose me to be her keeper and protector. She's now in a test tube, and she's already laid a batch of eggs and cut her wings off. So
that's amazing.
Oh, nice. Nice.
yeah,
Very
exciting
cool.
times.
All right. Let's see here. Do you prefer larger ants or smaller ones? Why? This is by City Ants NYC.
Larger ants. Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of ant they are too. Because if it's like a carpenter ant versus um I have no like I don't even know what cool ants that are small. Like I think Anochetis, like
Hmm.
those small trapjaw ants.
Yeah.
Like I would choose the small trapjaw ants over the carpenter ants. But in general, it would be larger ants because you can just see them. They're just easier to view and stuff
Yeah.
when compared to like smaller ants. Like sometimes when I look at my Brachymermix, I can barely see them unless I actually look super hard.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, larger ants by far.
I think the smallest species I own is Temnothorax. But I
Hmm.
actually I had a colony of Anochetus rissi early on when I started getting into exotics. Unfortunately, they didn't pull through, but they're pretty awesome creatures. I've done a lot more research since. I think I'd be confident at setting up the right environment this time, and especially having a full culture of springtails because that's what I was missing the first time. And by the time I got that cultured, I think it was a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, why did you decide that? Why did you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, I wrote this down. I wrote down this question, so I have like a note about it.
Oh.
Originally, like I said before, originally my channel was supposed to be Minecraft gameplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cause my first channel, I was doing like all this random gameplay, like from Minecraft, Vertex, Crunker.io, um, some other games like Astroneer. I don't know if you guys know it, The Forest. But like most of those videos, they were just all over the place.
Yeah.
So my Ender Ants channel was originally just gonna be strictly Minecraft stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found ant keeping, and the views on my Minecraft stuff weren't being so high, and I wanted to see what else I could do. So found out about ant keeping, um, recorded my ants, cause it was fun. Like before YouTube, I was just playing video games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I hear it.
like making videos is really fun. Like that's all I do.
Yep.
That's all I did pretty much. So yeah, that's why I started a channel.
Sweet. Make sure my mic is on. I was yelling there. What species do you plan on buying or catching this year? By the way, these questions come from Stein.
Oh, okay. I really want to find like harvester ants. I've been trying to find one after the first one I found died.
Oh shoot.
Also honeypot ants, cause those are native to where I live. I could easily find them if I just went to like the desert or something, but I've never really found them. I've only found one, but it was squished on the ground. So, yeah,
Bummer.
honeypot ants, harvester ants. Yeah,
Uh,
those ones pretty much.
my harvester ants are doing really well since I bought them from Tar Heel Ants.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and since you can buy them too,
Yeah.
so yeah, I really want to get those.
Yeah. I would definitely get them from Mac if you ever get a chance to.
Hmm.
So. I also bought Camponatus Discolor from him as well, which they're doing pretty well as well.
Hmm.
Let's see here. What is the coolest species in your area?
Um, honeypot ants, I think.
Yeah.
Honeypot ants, harvester ants. Like the coolest species are the ones that I can't find. So it's pretty much those ones. But also like one colony that I have, I think it's like Camponotus. It's like the yellow ones. It was either Camponotus fragilis or Festinatus. I still don't know which one it is. But those ones too, because they're yellow carpenter ants. Oh, and also Dora mimics. I kind of like those
Yeah.
because they just move around sand a lot, and they really terraform their setup the most out of all of my ants that I've caught.
Sweet. Let's see. Do you prefer cute or savage species?
Cute or savage species? Hmm. I would say, I would say savage species. Like savage as in like trap
Aggressive.
jaws
Yeah.
and like oh yeah.
Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive ants, yeah. Aggressive ants. Like yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Savage ants for sure.
Savage ants
Put
for
away.
sure. My chromatogasters though, they are cute, but
Hmm.
they're not
I
savage.
can agree.
Yeah, but they're cute. And I love them.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Next question we have is from Watch or Die, which is what happened to your camel spiders?
Oh my gosh. I get this question like from time to time too. Uh I think the story goes like whenever people ask me this question, I always tell them one of them died and then I released the other one, but that's a completely false story. It's like a half truth because both of them died, and I just never found camel spiders after that. I just can't believe people still remember that because I only made one video on camel spiders, and that was like 3 years ago, and people still ask me, "Where are camel spiders? Where are camel spiders?" And I
Yeah.
just keep on telling them, "I don't have them anymore. I just never find them."
Yeah. like what state do you have to live in just to find camel spiders?
I think you just have to be like in the desert area.
Oh, okay.
Like if you can find, I heard there's a lot in like um yeah, there's yeah, anywhere in the desert pretty much.
I don't think I've actually seen a camel spider before. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised too, like when I saw them, because after like 2 years of going to like the same park, I saw like camel spiders on the ground, and I was like, whoa, I only see these in like movies, so had to catch them.
Yeah. They look pretty brutal.
Yeah, and the ones that I caught were like super tiny because they were babies. But like the grown adult ones, those are scary because those are like huge.
Oof. Look at that. Like it's brutal.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big fan of spiders. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, me neither. But like camel spiders, kind of cool looking. I'd take camel spiders over spiders anytime.
Yeah. I think I'll stick with ants.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
um. Let's see. So the question I had for you was, what are your thoughts on the hashtag We Don't Approve movement?
Um, can you tell me, like in your words, what it is exactly? Because I remember I heard about it
Yep.
like on like Instagram, but then I didn't really look into it too much.
Okay. So I'm sure JB as well can kind of fill you in, but what it is no live feeding. Not like feeder insects are bred for that purpose, but like using live feeding for your views and to like increase your viewers and your count on your like social media to draw
Uh-huh.
people in. So
Yeah,
that's
I'd say for example, it's like feeding fruit flies, live feeding fruit flies is fine; they'll be dispatched. But say live feeding a scorpion, or apparently someone live fed a hamster to a Solenopsis colony. That's where
yeah,
the line. That's where hashtag
It's
we
Canada.
don't approve
yeah,
a solid stamp on we do not approve, because it's just drastic then, and it's unfair, and it's kind of the morals and integrity is what it questions more than anything else. But
yeah,
it's not a movement that's out to create hate. It's more a movement that wants to educate, and it's not one that wants to throw abuse. So like hashtag we don't approve is kind of like just a silent kind of just letting you know that we don't approve, but if you want to change your content, then we'll carry on being subscribed to you. Or, it's the way for the community to be able to inform the
hmm
content creator that they might not be happy in a way that isn't throwing abuse at each other and sort of, ruining
right.
possible relationships with people, with your fans, and,
Hmm.
likewise. So,
Or like catching insects in the wild and then feeding them alive to your ant colonies and just watching
Hmm.
them suffer. We don't think that's cool.
Huh.
Another
Okay.
another thing is the giant farms. That's another thing. That's part of the movement.
yeah,
You know. So
Hmm.
like that's like bracket sort of like gimmick nests as well, which is what we started calling them, which is stuff like Uncle Milton's ant farms. Things that aren't designed to actually house the colonies; they're just designed for the entertainment of the people that have them. So it's to try and change that sort of corporate perception that this is okay, because it's not, because it's destructive, because their instructions on their nests often say to disturb and steal from a wild colony. Now in the UK there's actually laws and legislations that protect from that, so someone could actually get charged for destruction of wild habitats or theft of a species.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of just to change that view, because I think it's outdated and it's time to it gets updated, because I'd say the hobby itself is almost at the point where it could break and become mainstream.
mm-hmm.
I'd say it's definitely growing worldwide.
Yep.
There's massive
Yeah, yeah.
followings. You've got some of the largest communities out in sort of Germany and Spain. England's community is getting big. I'd say there's a massive community out in the States. If you include all the
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
states, do you know what I mean? There's definitely like a large community, and apparently there's a very big community out in Russia as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just that we're very separate communities, but it's just how it
Yeah.
goes. But yeah,
But
no, I've been
still,
speaking
it's
to a few
worldwide.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
with that National Geographic article that just came out recently too. It's just showing how
Oh yeah, yeah. I
fast
saw that on
growing
the
the hobby
server.
is. Yeah.
That was really cool.
So
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's another flash of it coming into mainstream,
yeah.
and there's
Uh-huh.
there's definitely like some really cool retailers out there that are absolutely like smashing the market right now with what they're bringing out. Because if you even if you compare it back to sort of 15, 20 years ago, there was nothing available, and
Right.
now you
Yeah.
have a wide range of materials, a wide range of choice. You've got species specific nests, and that's just expanded the hobby to what it is today.
Hmm. How long do you guys think it will take for like ant keeping to become mainstream?
That's
Hard to say.
yeah. It's not. That's I don't know.
I,
I
I I mean,
guess.
especially with the technological age that we're in now, because if you look specifically, possibly in the last sort of year to 2 years, look at the boom in content creators alone. So there's definitely a lot more people shouting the same message now. And if you look
Uh-huh.
at TikTok, for instance, like people have hundreds of thousands of followers that they've managed to grow just from that app
Yep.
because that app is absolutely exploding. So
Yeah.
if you think about those people, that's hundreds of thousands of people that are being reached into ant keeping. So, with the technology boom, it could happen anytime, or it could already be happening. It's just waiting for it to sort of become officially recognized.
Yeah. Like like ant keeping is still smaller than like spider keeping, right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the reptiles and sort of,
Yeah.
other arachnids or scorpions or anything like that. Of course, they're the more mainstream market. But I remember a time. I mean, when I first started with reptiles, when I was breeding bearded dragons and stuff like that, that was
Uh,
that was like a new thing. No one
Hmm.
had them, and people were like, "Oh, you're weird." But then everyone I knew wanted to come to my house and check out all my lizards. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's like, there was a time where that was pretty, but that exploded quickly. That was the thing about that, is because of how it is, and obviously, you have again technology, better equipment, better keeping. It just became more mainstream, and there was companies that took that on and went international with it. So it really took off a lot quicker than this, but
yeah.
that still has the potential to explode at any point, really.
For sure.
Hmm. Man.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, what was the original question again?
The question was, what were your thoughts on the We Don't Improve movement? Now,
Okay,
since you
okay.
kind of know more about it, what's your thoughts on those things?
Um, because like the only thing I see good about live feeding is just I guess you can say it's just like making ant keeping more known, but like I don't know if it's in a bad way, but it's still making ant keeping more known. That's the only good thing about live feeding. And also to see like how they interact with bugs if you're like super new to keeping ants or something. But like I feel like well, not live feeding because I feed my ants I mean yeah, I feed my ants frozen food,
Yeah.
like frozen bugs. But of course I've fed like live fruit flies before to my ants.
Yeah.
Um, Injured bugs, like they're still alive, but they're injured. Um, just to see what happens, because we're curious. We're all curious people, and
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where the hashtag we don't approve is. It's like it doesn't kind of like that's sort of ethical live feeding. Do you know what I mean?
uh,
Either you're doing it because your species needs that sort of interaction. You might have a species that stings, or a species that's a specialist hunter of dipterans, which is the family of flies. They're often quite quick and nippy, and they're able to just grab them and take them down and deal with it. Even some species are able to just quickly dispatch a small cricket,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
which is, if that's what they can naturally do in the wild, and if that
Yeah,
is a prey item they
naturally.
would naturally hunt, and they can naturally take that prey item down. It's kind of more just the when it's the unnatural, when it's literally they're turning
Like a
their ant
hamster.
colony into mini gladiators, and
Yeah.
it's just the Roman Colosseum, and they're just throwing lions to their ants and seeing what happens. I think that's where the hashtag we don't approve tries to draw the line, where it becomes not for the benefit or welfare of your colony, but for the benefit or welfare of entertainment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure, cause like the this thing has been like super. this like cut the ant community in half pretty much. Like feeding live stuff and like not feeding live stuff. It's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
like
again, like the movement only puts a hashtag, like it puts a viral hashtag, a meaning to issues that have been going on. Like there's almost a spectrum of issues that it kind of covers, which is just to help people because there's a lot of insults that fly around, especially online.
yep,
Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? People get heated pretty quickly, stuff gets thrown at people, and sometimes that's just not needed. And this is kind of like a peaceful way to negate that. That's kind of the idea behind it, is if you feel uncomfortable about something, but
Mm.
then, as I've always said, everyone has things that they get offended differently
yeah.
by. What offends me might not offend you, and vice versa. So, it's kind of like there's only a few people that might be offended by it, and of course, there's a lot of other people that might not be. But it's to give those people a voice without there being aggression and sort of like some of
Mm.
the clashes that you see go on, because it is quite a passionate subject for many people on both sides of it.
Yep.
There's people who are benefiting from that live feeding, and they're probably getting a kick out of it, and that's not something they want to give up. And there's the other side of it where these people who are their fans or that support them but can't support that content that they're creating, and it just gives them a way to say that without sort of possibly breaking that relationship with that content creator. It's almost like saying,
Uh-huh.
look, we don't agree with this, would you mind making your other content? Because these same content creators, they're not just doing that. It's not just every video is that. They've got some really awesome content and some really awesome ideas. So it's kind of like just a way not to try and ruin that. It's to make it fair. I think that's the idea behind the whole movement. Is that if you do disapprove of something, it's a fair way to sort of say it.
What's like the overall goal? Is it like to just stop live feeding as a whole?
No, it's just to sort of change sort of the way people. I don't know how to explain it actually. It's
Like
th-
like
not to stop, well, to stop what people would call, you know, unethical live feeding. In the hopes to try and stop that, not to stop ethical live feeding, which I think is a completely different thing to unethical live feeding. It's more just to say like, hey, that's just too far.
hmm
I don't mind watching fruit flies get killed, but I don't want to watch, a tarantula have a Fidole colony attack it for 4 hours until it finally succumbs to the Fidole colony, but has nowhere to escape and is trying its, in the wild, that
uh-huh.
that tarantula would have been off.
Right.
That Fidole colony never would have got it. It might have got one nip and it would have just gone. So to put it into that situation and for it to be mauled that way for hours for the satisfaction of, entertainment, I think that's just where the line should be drawn. Do you know what I mean? Because that
hmm
isn't
hmm
ethical. There's nothing ethical about that, and that is to try and stop the image of ant keeping just being, oh, I'm going to raise this colony to kill all these things, because then you're going to corrupt the hobby really.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just to promote better husbandry practices and to consider the welfare of the animals, because there's actually rarely any animal welfare laws to insects, because they're just not considered to
Yeah.
to have any ranking on that. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They are the bottom of the chain. So you can pretty much do whatever you want to an insect and face no consequence for it. So it's just the community saying like, hey, look, these are our sort of community guidelines. Like this is kind of what, we feel is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. The hobby has standards to sort of, show up to, and it should be about the care and the welfare of the creatures that you're keeping. You wouldn't, what's the difference between that, yeah, and owning a dog and taking the dog to dog fights?
Mm.
It's just a different animal, but it's the same concept.
hmm
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that's agreeable. Yeah.
Derek Scott, you said live feeding makes it more entertaining. No, it doesn't make it more entertaining. Just like
For people that don't even like ever see ants attacking stuff or like
yeah,
bugs fighting, it can be entertaining to them.
yeah,
Like I remember when I was like super young watching like Monster Bug Wars, but that happened in like real life.
yeah.
Like this huge mantis, like they're in like the Amazon or something, and they like record the mantis as it like goes through and it hunts down like I don't know, like a huge giant moth or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
that stuff
I
is
always watch
natural,
nature
and
documentaries for
Yeah.
that. But
yeah,
the
that's
thing is,
entertaining.
that is a natural thing, and
Yeah.
there is a way that you can portray live feeding
Yeah.
if you just explain why and how and the ethics behind it. If you're saying it's ethical to feed live fruit flies to this species because this species needs to hunt, but
Mhm.
this is what the species would normally hunt, and you're filming that, that's still exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got some really good footage of my right-hiddo panera taking down bean weevils, and they can take them down immediately. Just one of them will grab a bean weevil, one sting, and the bean weevil's dead. But it's
Hmm.
still quite exciting to watch because it just turns into an absolute rugby scrum.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see like right-hiddo panera flying left, right, and center, just tackling bean weevils, and it is actually quite, you
Fun to
do get
watch.
excitement from it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is, but it's also ethical because the prey item can be taken out painlessly. It's
Mm-hmm.
when the prey item has to suffer unnecessarily just for entertainment, or it wouldn't be a natural prey item. It's kind of like, hey, what are the odds on this? Let's just put these into a ring and make them fight. It's just that's where it gets a bit
Yeah.
too much, I'd say. But I definitely think there's a way to portray live feeding. It's just portraying ethical live feeding.
Hmm.
All right. Ooh, let's move on to the next question from David Zudik. Was how are you getting such good camera angles?
Uh, I guess it would be like practice. I don't know.
Practicing.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I like whenever I watch like YouTube videos, like cinematographers or like any of that stuff, I realize that they're always moving the camera, they're always panning it, it's always moving. It's not like just a stagnant shot. Um, Lighting, of course, is very important. I feel like I try to incorporate some kind of shadows
Yeah.
because it adds more depth instead of like a flat image.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just moving the camera a lot, getting all sorts of directions of panning.
Right.
That's how I get my shots.
I use my phone, so I can't really do a lot of that. But
I used
That's
to
what
use
I'm
my phone
limited to.
too,
yeah.
but yeah, using a camera is better for
Yeah.
um cinematics and
What
stuff.
what
I'll
equipment are you using?
Uh, a Canon 200D and
Nice.
extension tubes. People always ask me,
yeah.
um, like what kind of macro lens I use, but I don't even have a macro lens. I just use extension tubes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll stick to the audio waves. You guys can stick to videos. All right. I do. I mean, I still do some video stuff. Like I'll do unboxings and stuff like that, and I'll use my phone. But I won't really like get too much into editing it. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
should a little bit more. I should try, but I don't really see a
Or
purpose
maybe
of it.
one day you could have like a live podcast, like Impulsive or something, where it's like in real life.
Whoa,
And that would be like a video.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Definitely.
All right. Let's see. Here's another live question. Let me save that. All right. Cool. All right. So we have, let's see, 4 more questions, then we'll get into our live questions. Tropical Ants wants to know, do you watch anime?
Yep. I watched it before, but like this summer, completely stopped because I was busy just hanging out with friends and stuff because I
Yeah.
haven't seen them in like a year. Like when I mean I was like in my house all day, I was literally in my house all day for like the entire year, doing schoolwork and just because of quarantine and stuff. But yeah, that's when I was pretty much watching like all anime and stuff. But then like now, I like completely stopped. I'm just like doing some in real life stuff.
Yep. Um, do you prefer exotic ants or native ants? This is from Ants Island.
I don't have any exotic ants, so I can't really say, but I would want to have exotic ants for sure, because if like if the US could have ants in like Australia and stuff, or you can just like buy queen ants from all around the world, then that would be pretty cool because you have like a piece of nature from all around the world in like your home. But like people in like people that live in areas where invasive ants are at, like Argentine ants,
Mm.
I'm sure they would want to have exotic ants and stuff. But if you're like in Florida or something and you have all these diverse ants, then I'm sure I would say like I would want to have native ants over exotic ants.
Hmm.
Me personally, I'm kind of all right with the ones that I have right now.
Yeah.
I pretty much just want to have honeypot ants. Those are like the only main ones I want.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Cool.
I hear
Um,
you on that one.
we had two more questions. Was the last one was from Ants Camping about when you're coming back, and you kind of already answered that question. So the last
hmm
question then, before we go into the live questions, is do you like Ants Canada?
Um, I haven't really watched Ants Canada in. I don't think I watched any videos from him the past year, or maybe last year.
Yeah.
I don't even know, cause I remember I used to watch him like whenever I was eating breakfast, whenever he uploaded a video on like Saturdays or Sundays,
Hmm.
just cause I had nothing to watch. And back when his videos were more entertaining to watch, in my opinion. Not like now where it's just some feeding ants boogers or something.
Right.
But um, I would say, hmm, I would say yes and no, cause yes, I liked Ants Canada. That was past tense, and I don't know what he's doing right now and
Hmm.
what his content is like. But like he's the one who inspired me to keep ants, so
Hmm.
of course I have to. I liked his videos.
Right. Yeah, for me as well. He's the one that got me to get inspired to keep ants.
Uh-huh.
Um,
For me, it was the like how to keep carpenter ants
mhm.
video.
Yeah. Mine was his fire ant colony when he caught that queen and he started keeping that queen. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, cool. And kind of realized I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to keep fire ants.
Fire ants, yeah.
But thanks to JB, I decided not to keep them. um,
Mine are actually in for an upgrade at the moment, so
yeah,
I'm just waiting for Antboy UK to work his magic.
for sure. All right, two live questions we have written down. Are you hibernating your ants? Because you were talking in one of your videos that you had a bad experience with it.
Oh yeah. I don't hibernate my ants because uh the first time I hibernated them,
Mm-hmm.
most of them died,
Oh,
and yeah, I just have bad experience hibernating them.
yeah.
Do you know, I can join you. I've always had difficulty with hibernation. I always lose about 50% of my hibernated colonies.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, last year let's see, I had close to like 30 something queens when it was time to hibernate. And now I have like not even half that now. But most of them that I have now all have, I have workers and brood and stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I
so,
think I don't know, like it's only good if you like keep a colony for like however long queen ants live, like 20 years or 10 years or something.
yeah.
But like if you don't hibernate them, I'm sure they would live like at least a couple years because I still have one of my colonies from when I first started ant keeping,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
But
still
this
like
is
super small.
one thing that I look at with the hibernation is that not every species biologically requires hibernation. So
Yeah,
some
that too.
species are perfectly fine with skipping it, and there's absolutely no difference between whether they hibernate or they don't hibernate. They actually just lay their egg cycles differently if they do or they don't. But there are a couple of species that require it, like Myrmica rubra. If they
Mhm.
don't hibernate, they don't create overwinter brood. If they don't create overwinter brood, they never create a late. So it's part of how the colony actually matures its generations, which is the only what it does over hibernation. So, but most species seem to just only do it to just survive the weather rather than
Yeah,
have an actual
yeah.
biological need.
Yeah. Another question was asked by Ants Jr. He says, "Are you gonna make any more parodies? For example, the Ants Australia one that you did."
Oh man. I wanted to. I wanted to do like for every single ant channel, like Ant Invasion, Ants International,
Yeah.
uh, even Nordic Ants. I wanted to do one of those. Ants
Yeah.
Britannia, Ants Scandinavia,
Yep.
You'll
and
have to do
then
one of mine as well.
Yep.
yeah,
I'd love
yeah.
to see that.
You should.
But now I don't know if I'm gonna do any parodies, cause yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. You
I
should
want
do.
to do more tutorials, pretty much.
Yeah,
first,
definitely.
and
need
then I
more
can get to that.
tutorials.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely need some more tutorial videos. That's really helpful,
Mhm.
especially with a bunch of new people coming in. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what do I need to do? What do I need, like? How do I get started? Okay, watch this video. Watch this video. Watch this video. You know, like it's kind of what I did with Derek Scott, who's here in the chat. It's like a brother of mine, and you know, he just started getting into the hobby, and he was going to buy something off of some website,
Oh.
and I was like, bro, watch this video from Ants Manitoba. Watch this video here by Ender Ants. Watch this video from just. So I started sending him a bunch of stuff from people who have been keeping ants and actually doing it correctly, and I'm like, okay, like here you go. Like here's some tutorials. Like don't just rely on Ants Canada. Like here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really helpful, especially I don't necessarily make any tutorials. I rather just talk about the hobby and bring people on and talk about different ant species, and that's
I'd say
I'll stick to that.
sometimes we do through the podcast though. We it's quite informative, so
Yeah,
people do certainly learn a lot, and
yeah,
when we're doing the lives like this on YouTube, you're able to show people stuff. So
yeah,
Yeah. And
certainly,
more
certainly the
personal
information stuff.
experiences
yeah,
are being.
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
sure. Especially when we do those panel discussions and we bring a bunch of people on. Those are really fun. Which,
yeah, they've been really cool.
we're gonna be doing another one here in August. So yeah, one more month in August. Don't know when that's gonna be. It's probably gonna be the first week of August. The second weekend, I'm taking a weekend and I'm going to the east side of the state to fish with a best friend of mine. So when I go do that,
Nice.
it's probably gonna be our break weekend. So that's probably what we're gonna do. We'll probably do the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. That's probably when the next panel will be. Don't know what that's gonna be, but Ender, you're definitely invited to join that if you want to.
I'll see about it. I'll see about it.
Cool. We have one more question. I'll double check. I don't see any others. Okay. This last question kind of hit me in a nerve. Thanks, Lauren. I do have a question for everyone. What's everyone's opinion on raising ants to fight for like army ants to conquer? I'm gonna say no. That's all I'm gonna say. No. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Raising ants to fight like for the army ants to conquer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like army ants or
To
like raising them as an army.
To fight army ants or to fight each other? Like.
Oh, then no,
Or
no.
conquer
I don't know.
territory.
I mean, I remember one time I I fed one of my ants like way before when I was first starting in ant keeping. I fed one of my ants like this random queen ant like, and then yeah,
Oh.
I don't know. It was live too, so I mean,
Oh.
now raising a colony to fight another colony?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Or I don't know. Like if it was an invasive colony, I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Like
I would
raise.
I would raise like imported fire ants to fight red imported fire ants or Argentine ants.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You think that's bad?
I think it questions ethics for sure.
Yeah.
I can't say it. Nothing's black and white. Do you know what I mean? Nothing is.
Yeah.
So it's all interpretation, and it's all about how it's delivered and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
again, I think if it's an unnatural situation, I think the best thing to do with stuff like that, if you want to film that stuff, it happens in the wild.
Yeah.
It genuinely does. So grab your camera and find it, because I know that like Formica here in the UK. Over a
like
certain season, they have massive battles. So
yeah.
you can go and film all of that, and that can be quite incredible. But then you're not, as a person, forcing a situation which could be,
That's
questioned
true.
as unethical.
Yeah. Didn't Ants Canada like attach 2 of his colonies and they like fought each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think he was merging them though. Like
it
combining
was
them
the
as one.
merging of the yellow crazy ants, which got merged
Mhm.
like 7, 8
Yeah.
times or something. I lost count on how many times he actually merged the colony, and then he's got the new colony now, which is supposed to be the same name, but from the original colony, I couldn't say that any members are still left. I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. So we're gonna go ahead and close it up. Before we do that, next time on Formacast Podcast. So for July, we got Ants Quest for North America. We're gonna be talking about different ant species in North America for the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. And then after that, we're gonna be interviewing Ants Britannia, which that just lines up perfectly. So we're going to be interviewing Ants Britannia after that. And then we're doing a Q&A live with a bunch of new content creators with Ants Manitoba and myself and JB. So that's going to be pretty cool. So a bunch of content creators are getting into the hobby. We'll be able to ask Ants Manitoba and myself and JB tips and tricks and how to get their channels going. Then after that, we're doing a Ant Antics UK interview. So we'll be, interviewing Ant Antics
cool.
and talking about his store and how he got started. So that's gonna be pretty cool. He decided to partner up, and we're looking into other ways to grow his business and grow the show. That's gonna be pretty cool. August, I did have a couple things listed, but we're gonna wait a little bit before I finalize a couple things. I realized that Extra Life won't be until, I don't think it's until October. I gotta double check on that. I want to make sure I'm not too ahead of myself. But Extra Life is when we're gonna be raising money as a community to support kids in hospitals. So that's gonna be pretty
Oh
cool.
wow,
That's
nice.
cool.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing some live streams. We'll be playing some games, like War of Rights and some other games. There's a there's a game that, let's see. I forget the name of it, but Miles Maxter was playing it on his YouTube channel.
Oh, was it Empires of the Undergrowth?
Yes, so
Oh yeah, that's
yep.
that's an
Yeah.
awesome game.
So we're gonna be playing that as well, and all money raised will go to the local hospital here in Grand Rapids to raise money for the kids there. So that's gonna be pretty cool. We'll be partnering with the Hive and with 17th Michigan for War of Rights. That's gonna be pretty cool. Which a lot of them are starting to listen to the show as well, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, but all right, so that's all we got for the next month, and as we go further into August, don't know what we're doing for a panel in August, but I'm sure we'll think of something. But
I think we should definitely get Novo Ants on. He's a
yes,
top guy, man.
yes,
I love his content.
that is definitely definitely on the list. I've talked to him a little bit already about that. But why don't you guys, JB? Why don't you go ahead and fill in your socials? Where can we find you?
Well, the best place to go is to my blog site, which is www.thecolonialist.co.uk. And from that, if you go into the Our Colony tab, you'll find a tab not just to all of my social medias, but to a lot of the content creators that I sort of hang out with. So definitely that is a useful source. And of course, check out the formacastpod.com because that is the newest source of information for everything ant keeping.
Mm-hmm. And Ender Ants, where can they find you?
Ender Ants, just like the Enderman in Minecraft, for YouTube, and then Ender_Ants for Instagram. That's pretty much the only two socials I have.
Cool. And
Yep.
for Formacast Podcast, you can get all the information for Formacast Podcast at formacastpod.com. It's a pretty cool ringing name for a website. Don't say it myself. But yeah, definitely, definitely check it out. Check out the website. It looks pretty sick. We'll be publishing the full episode tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And check out the website at the show notes so you can see what we've been talking about. All right, folks, that's pretty much it. All right, folks, Formcast out.
Colonialist signing out.
My name is Ender Ants, another fellow ant YouTuber, and I'll see you guys later.